Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga and Buddhism, the wisdom of the Buddha. Um, Today is April the 28th, 2019, and what I'm going to talk about this morning is be mindful, is on mindfulness, you can say, consulting the oracle. So every blessed day when we sit back as men, where you sit back as a man or as a woman who lives with wisdom, who lives in wisdom, who lives for wisdom, who lives by wisdom, who lives through wisdom. Okay, when you sit down as men and women who live for wisdom, by wisdom, through wisdom, in wisdom, those whose all your life, the most important thing in your life is wisdom, the wisdom that it takes to succeed. You are very mindful of wisdom. Then these lessons are very important to reflect and meditate upon. They are lessons in wisdom. Of course, as we know, the world is millions of years old. Great men and great women have sat in the past and delved deeply into wisdom. Some have committed themselves to wisdom all the days of their lives and have certainly accomplished a lot in wisdom. That's why you have all the great development you have today, wisdom and intelligence. For thousands of years, human beings have paid great attention to wisdom and intelligence. This very device with which I'm talking to you right now, of course, was developed because of wisdom, from wisdom and intelligence. It's a hand, device. It's a computer devices. They were developed by people who have committed their whole lives to wisdom, the extirpation of suffering, the development of humanity. People have committed themselves to intelligence, and look at the achievements we have today. Wonderful. So some of us have become devotees of wisdom. And if you are a devotee of wisdom, of course, then you might want to pay attention to these lectures. They are very, very valuable lectures for those who are precise, who want to live their lives in wisdom, through wisdom, with wisdom, for wisdom, by wisdom. When you want to live your life, everything in your life is centered around this wisdom, then you are very attentive. You live mindfully. As the Buddha says we should be mindful people. Don't live carelessly. Don't live rashly. We want to avoid rashness and carelessness. We want to be mindful people, people who are mindful, who are intelligent, people who are looking ahead and see what lies ahead and how you will use wisdom to develop yourself to the utmost in this great opportunity of life that we all have today. This is the greatest opportunity we will ever have. It is called the opportunity of life itself. And once you've seen the opportunity of life, you're going to take that opportunity and use it to unravel the mysteries of wisdom. So, in wisdom, Master Xing Oracle speaks. Be mindful of what lies ahead. People are so blind, they don't even see what lies ahead. Be mindful, be reserved, be contemplative, think of the future. Joseph is praised in the Bible. Okay, Joseph started all these stores you have today, right? Food stores, clothing stores, all this was started by Joseph. The wisdom of Joseph, the biblical Joseph. Okay, God revealed to him that there was going to be famine. Remember the story of Joseph in the Old Testament? And so what did Joseph do? He started warehousing. The whole world today have stores. People are billionaires. Amazon, right? Jeff Bezos is now the richest man in the world with about $150 billion. That's Joseph. It was Joseph's idea that in the time of plenty, in the 7 years of plenty, store up treasures. When you have plenty, don't waste. Don't waste. This is Japanese wisdom again. Don't waste. Stop wasting things. Think twice before you put things in the trash. Don't put things in the garbage quickly. Store them up. Joseph. That is the wisdom of Joseph. So Joseph opened Pharaoh, right? Remember the story? Brought Joseph out of prison. And then Joseph made him the governor of Egypt. Pharaoh said, I shall only hold my throne. Only my throne of authority shall you not have. All authority I give to you from now on in Egypt. So Joseph became the second in command, which is the governor of Egypt. All the chariots, every power, every authority in Egypt was granted him by Pharaoh. And he started opening warehouses, what you call stores today, right? Supermarkets, grocery stores, malls, okay, just shopping centers. Okay, Joseph started loading treasures, all the treasures of Egypt. He started warehousing, loading these things up during the 7 years of plenty. When you have plenty, when you are a millionaire, when you are a thousandaire, when you have lots of money, money has flooded you, you think of the day when money is scarce. You start banking. That's Joseph's ideas. Joseph started storage, massive storage of valuable things. When you have values, think ahead. And then you store up. That's the wisdom of Joseph. Okay? So that's what Buddha is saying right here. Okay? Be mindful of what lies ahead. Be mindful of what lies ahead. Don't create bad karmas. Don't create bad karmas for yourself. Create good karmas for yourself. Deliberately do good things. Deliberately take the step to do good. Deliberately take a step out there to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but it's a good thing because you know you sow a seed for tomorrow. This is very important. Deliberately take that step out there. Stress yourself a little bit to do a good thing because you know you are banking for tomorrow. You are banking for the future. So this is the wisdom of Joseph. Joseph decided to gather good things, beautiful things, valuable things, and load them up for tomorrow. During the 7 years of plenty, he taught about the 7 years of famine. So when you have a lot, you need to bank up. You need to save up. Save yourself by putting away your treasures for tomorrow. The wisdom of Joseph, which is coming from the wisdom of the Buddha, of course. Okay? So this is the mindfulness we are talking about. Everybody is a Buddha. That's what you need to understand. Just language. Don't get confused because of language. Buddha means enlightened. Jesus Christ is a Buddha. Joseph is a Buddha. They were enlightened men. So Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha, I think is what a lot of people think about Buddha. Yes. He is one Buddha out of thousands of Buddhas. There were thousands. Jesus Christ is a Buddha. Joseph is a Buddha. Okay, there were thousands of them. Okay, great minds are Buddhas. Okay, so Buddha just means enlightenment, enlightened wisdom. You can call it omniscience, right? Omniscience, all-knowing, the state of knowing everything, the state of being all-knowing. You climb a ladder, you get there. You start cultivating, start developing yourself, you get there. Okay, so that's what they did. These great men, they sat there in meditation and they started building upon themselves. They started raising up themselves. If you fall down, who is going to raise you up? Nobody. You have to raise yourself first. That's why the Buddha wants people to be self-confident, self-dependent. Raise yourself first. Lift yourself first. Develop your wisdom. Develop your Buddha nature, your inward nature. Know yourself. Build yourself. This is all wisdom. Okay, so I'm going to run through the wisdom for today. Be mindful of what lies ahead. Okay, that's why I talked about Joseph. Joseph was mindful of what was ahead of them. So he became the greatest in Egypt, except for Pharaoh. He was the second in command. He was among the greatest on the land of Egypt because he was mindful of what was ahead of him. Okay, so that's the lecture right now. Be mindful of what lies ahead. Master Singyung, our oracle of wisdom, says, even if people have no distant concerns, there will certainly be worries close at hand. Not only do we need to look far and high, but we must also prepare for what lies ahead. We should see clearly what the future holds, as well as a way out of trouble. We should leave sufficient room in whatever we do so that there will be space for us to turn around if necessary. Therefore, to be mindful of what lies ahead is an important guideline in life. Be mindful of what lies ahead. Don't live stupid life. Don't be blind about tomorrow. You need to sit down and listen to this so that you'll be mindful of what lies ahead. Watch your step. Don't fall down. Don't stumble. Be mindful of what lies ahead. This is all wisdom. 1, the first golden key here, be prepared for a rainy day. Be prepared for a rainy day. A Chinese motto goes, one should be prepared before the rain comes and not dig a well after we have become thirsty. If we are prepared for anything, we need not worry. We need to anticipate a day of not having in times of having. Thus, we should always have umbrellas ready in case winds and clouds gather in the sky. We need to store up enough food like Joseph did. We need to store up enough food in the fall so we can survive the winter. Exactly. Having a flashlight handy by day, we need not worry about darkness at night. While we may not be able to encounter natural disasters completely, while we may not be able to counter natural disasters completely, we can still be prepared in advance to minimize the damage. Therefore, we have to anticipate danger in times of peace. Being prepared for a rainy day is the right attitude towards life. Think of getting off stage when we are still on it. All good things must come to an end, and there is no show which does not close. When a show is finished, its actors must get off stage after the curtain falls. After a speech is delivered and its ideas expressed, the speaker must bow and leave. Therefore, when one gets on stage, getting off is inevitable. People clinging to powers all the time, right? When one gets on stage, getting off is inevitable. It is a law of nature. However, some people do not appreciate this truth. It is easy for them to get on, but difficult to leave. High officials who gain power may bring much glory and benefit to everyone associated with them. But how should they conduct themselves once they lose their position and power? We should therefore think of the day we must leave while we are still up at the top. We should never be arrogant when we have power and create enemies by staying too long, because we should never be arrogant when we have power and create enemies by staying too long, because very simply, we need to think about getting off stage while we are still on the stage. Okay? 3, the third golden key. I'm in a rush because I'm going to work. I'm running late, and I don't want to run late. It's very busy. Be mindful of the lows when we are still riding high. Prosperity, decline, glory, and humiliation are all part of life. These are the stages that we go through during our life. Some people do well at a young age and make a lot of money. They may be very talented, enjoy excellent human relationships, and have every door open for them wherever they go. However, we need to bear in mind that impermanence is the rule of life. Impermanence, that's what the Buddha said, is the rule of life. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, life goes through birth, old age, sickness, and death. All things in the world cannot escape the cycle of existence. Existence, decay, and extinction. Everything that goes up must come down, right? When we are flying high and basking in glory, have we ever thought of what we what we'll do if we fail and suffer. Thus, we should prepare ourselves well ahead of time. Prepare ourselves well ahead of time. A willy rabbit has 3 burrows. Ants store food for winter, and bees make honey in a timely fashion. How can people not have a sense of imminent danger? Therefore, we need to be mindful of the lows when we are riding high. And the 4th golden key Master Singyung gives us or blesses us with this morning is bear in mind setbacks in times of success. Bear in mind setbacks in time of success. Okay? The tide rises and falls. Life is smooth as well as difficult. When we face setbacks, we naturally need to understand what leads to success. But when we live in success, what do we do if difficulties suddenly appear? It is said, when we are doing well, we need to prepare an alternative route. We need to prepare an alternative route. Then there will be no fear in good times, like Joseph did in Egypt. He was a wise man, very wise man. When we are faced with failure, we must find a way out. We must find a way out so that we can survive hardships. You must always have a way out. You must always have answers. Right? This is wisdom. That's why you must sit in meditation every day, like the Buddha instructs. It's very important. You must figure out everything for yourself. You must have a strategy of how you are going to live, how well you are going to live, how you are going to live well, successful, your well-being, your happiness. You must contemplate these things every day. That's your duty and your responsibility. You are responsible for that. Okay? You are responsible for your own happiness, your own well-being, and your own success. You must take these things seriously and contemplate every day seriously on these matters. Okay? They are profound matters, and it's your responsibility to contemplate and meditate on them. When we are faced with failure, we must find a way out so that we can survive hardships. Therefore, life can be smooth or difficult, but it is only by leaving things behind and following positive conditions that we can find a way out. All in all, in anything we do, we succeed if we are prepared. We succeed if we are prepared, and fail if we are not. When we are aware of what lies ahead, we will spread. Okay? When we are aware of what lies ahead, we will be spared. We will be spared from losing control and being thrown into fear when we face difficult situations. Folks, yes, I had to really do a lot of rushing today because I'm running to work. I'm running late. But I just said, let me do this for the benefit, let me do this for the benefit of all of you so that you folks can benefit from these words of wisdom. I know I have confidence in you. I know that some of you really are serious about your own lives. There are some of you who take wisdom seriously. Don't play with wisdom. Don't toy with wisdom. And for those of you who know me, you know the kind of person I am. I am deadly serious about what I'm saying. This is seriousness. This is our life. This is April 28, 2019. If we throw this day away, we become ungrateful beings. The days that God has given us and the years and the time of life, the great opportunity, the grand opportunity of life that God has blessed us with to make the best things for ourselves, and we lose them by stupidity, by foolishness, by ignorance, then we are responsible ultimately for our own grief and our own sadness and our own suffering. So we must take things seriously. We must use the wisdom that God has put in our brains, in our heads, and deliberate upon these things and make the best out of life. We are all brilliant successes. We are all stars, bright stars. These things are told us by Christ. Many of us have Christian foundations. And we took Buddhism and the wisdom of Buddhism and topped what we already have. Right? When you have a first floor, you are a wise man and a rich man. You build a house, you have one floor, and then you top it with a second floor. You become a bigger person. Last year, your friends knew you had only a bungalow. This year, you have an upstairs. That's all we did. We have our Christian foundation. We had the wisdom of the Buddha. We took the wisdom of the Buddha and topped it. So we don't go into the errors of Moses. Moses is the person who brought us commandments from God. God said, thou shalt not kill. He went out killing everybody and breaking the commandments of God. We don't want to be like that. It's not judgmental of Moses, but if it has to be judgmental of Moses, so be it. He killed people. He brought the 10 commandments and smashed them to pieces before the people and said he saw them worshiping golden cows. Then went back to the mountain to bring the commandments a second time. And then bringing it, they broke the commandments. They started killing Egyptians. They started poisoning the waters and saying God of Moses, their God was the God. And they were killing the Egyptians and killing animals and killing people. And these are the people that God gave the law, thou shalt not kill. Then Moses went in the book and wrote his own laws, contrary to the law that God gave him. The 5th commandment holds. God never ratified that commandment. God never changed the commandment. God never vacated the commandment. Thou shalt not kill. It's the commandment given to Moses. Moses went and wrote his own commandments in Leviticus. And then he now said, thou shalt kill. If a woman commits adultery, stone her to death. Nonsense. That's just nonsense. And then they came to Jesus Christ for ratification. Jesus Christ dismissed them from his presence. Did they not? John chapter 8. Forgotten your Bibles? I authored one. I authored the Holy Bible. Go to your Google and Google Aburime Bible. You find my Bible online. Okay? And they came to Jesus Christ, right? The followers of Moses, Pharisees, the killers. They brought Mary Magdalene. We have found her committing adultery. Moses said we should stone her to death. The law of Moses. Jesus Christ was shocked. What are these people talking about? My Father is God. His law is love. I have commanded you to love your neighbors as you love yourself. What are you talking about? We caught Mary Magdalene committing adultery. Read your Bibles, John chapter 8. Jesus Christ told them that is not valid. You cannot stone Mary Magdalene to death. Right, folks?